So, my dear friends, we are discussing regarding the aphorisms. Yesterday we have taken a gap of one day because of the preparation for the lecture on Materia Medica. And today again we'll continue with the aphorisms. I think we have finished up to the first 30 aphorisms. And while learning those first 30 aphorisms, we have learned many things. We have learned how to learn single aphorism, how to understand each and every word from the aphorism. What is the importance of footnote, which is mentioned at the end of aphorism? The comparison between two pathies generally mentioned in these footnotes. So all those things matters a lot. And that's why every aphorism, if you read by heart, you will definitely be a good homeopath. So if you apply Organon in your practice, it will be very, very useful to you. And then you are damn sure when you are applying the Organon, you are damn sure regarding the your application of the remedy. And that's why my suggestion to everyone is that read Organon by heart. So today we'll start with the next aphorism, that is the 31st aphorism. Up till now, we have discussed the concept of nature's law of cure, the probable explanation as explained by Hahnemann, how this nature's law of cure works. And then he explains in the last aphorism why a medicine are stronger than the natural disease. So artificial disease, why it is so stronger than the natural disease. That's what few things regarding it already we have discussed. The dose of the medicine it is always in control of the physician, and that's why the medicinal disease or artificial disease, it is too easy to control after stop giving the medicines. So these are the things which we have learned. Let us start with the 31st and what he explains over the 31st. The inimical forces, partly psychical, partly physical, to our to which our terrestrial existence is exposed. See, this is very important thing which he is explaining over there, which are termed morbific noxious agents. But just understand this much. We used to define that miasms, they are the dynamic noxious polluting agents, but we never understand what it means. Then we understand inimical word, and again we never understand what exactly it means. Here he defines exactly what he wants to say. So first thing he explains, the inimical forces partly psychical. What are partly psychical? What is the psychical inimical forces which works on you and which works on you off and on in day-to-day life? Since you come out on this earth after birth till your death, those forces acts on you. Which are those? Anyone? Any idea? Which are the psychical forces which are inimical? Any idea? See, right from the day in the morning till the evening, there are many things which goes against your wish. Because you have your own thought, you have your own identity, you have your own logic. And what happens many times, every person who comes in contact with you is not agreeable with your thoughts. Many times there are contradiction of the thoughts, they gets contradicted by someone, and when things goes against your will, they are inimical. And there are many inimical things that happens in our life, but every time you never get suffered. But what happens, it disturbs you. It disturbs you because someone says no to you, immediately you disturb. You are in a very good mood, you have to want to go somewhere, and you have done everything, and all of a sudden something happens and it goes against your will. What happens? You get disturbed. You get disturbed means your vital energy gets disturbed, because it works at that level. This is the psychical force which disturbs you. And once it is disturbed, again, what is its function? Its function is to preserve the health. You never get immediately ill. You never get immediately diseased. But what happens? After some time, vital force again brings back you again into the state of health. You come into the again in harmony. This is the function of vital force, and this, in fact, because of which you are preserved. But sometimes such psychical forces all of a sudden from every angle acts on you at the same time. Something bad happened in your life, you are already in grief. Another bad thing comes, another bad news comes. Then against things goes against your wish at the same time. And at that time you become so disturbed, means your vital force becomes so disturbed, your vital energy so becomes so disturbed that it loses its strength. When it loses its strength, then there is a production of disturbance. Then a disturbance develops, then a disease develops. So ease goes and disease comes. So this is partly psychical. That's why he says that the inimical forces partly psychical and partly physical. Physical, which are inimical things. There are many physical inimical things. Which are anyone? Which are inimical physical things? Any idea? Which are related with your desires, which are related to your aversions. What happens if you don't like anything yet, if you don't like specific food and someone forces you to take that food compulsorily, what happens? It becomes inimical at that time. You don't like it and still you have to take it. It goes against your will. The inimical force immediately starts working. Your reactions are immediately disturbed. Sometimes you are in a good mood, everything is going on in the right way, and you have decided to do something, and all of a sudden change of weather happens and it disturbs. The physical forces acts in the environment, the forces acts on you, and that disturbs your mood. Physical forces. So these are the things which goes against your will, used to call a damage, a disturbance. So the inimical forces, partly psychical, partly physical, to which our terrestrial existence is exposed. Terrestrial means when we are there on the earth. Your existence is there on the earth, and that has been disturbed. Which are termed morbific noxious agents, do not possess the power of morbidly deranging the health of man unconditionally. But these are the forces which never disturbs you unconditionally. They disturb you only when the conditions are favorable. The things are very important. When the vital force is absolutely in the state of health, then they cannot do anything. Specifically, the physical things cannot do anything. If some bacteria enters in your body, immediately you will not going to get ill. Even though the malarial parasite enters in your body, still you never suffers from malaria immediately. If many times our tuberculin test is positive, but we are not suffering from tuberculosis. Why? Because our body is still in a state of health. The conditions are not favorable for those bacteria to act on you and produce the disease. So they act conditionally. They never act unconditionally, but they act conditionally. But we are made ill by them only when our organism is sufficiently disposed. See, what is it? Only when our organism is sufficiently disposed and susceptible to the attack of the morbific cause that may be present and to be altered in itself, deranged, and made to undergo abnormal sensations and functions. Hence, they do not produce disease in everyone, nor at all times. What he is explaining? Only when your conditions are favorable, you are in a disturbed mood. You are going in a healthy state and all of a sudden the mood is disturbed. Something happened in your life. Someone says no to you and you are already in a disturbed mood. You are in exaggerated mood. Your reactions are exaggerated. And at the same time, this bacteria entered in your body. Salmonella typhi enters in your body. Already you are disturbed at the level of your energy. So you will react, you will going to react the way you will going to react to anyone in the similar manner. Your body will going to react to the bacteria in the similar manner. Then there is a chance for bacteria, because that work of that bacteria has happened. It has stimulated, your vital force has stimulated, immediately reacted, exaggerated reaction. So that bacteria which was there in the colon now starts troubling you because your body has reacted. Unless your body has not reacted, it never produces any disease. And why body has reacted? Because already you are disturbed at the vital energy. And when you are disturbed, then and then only you suffer from the disease. So why he is explaining all these things? He is explaining all those things only for the purpose that every natural disease develops only and only after the conditions are favorable. If conditions are not favorable, those diseases cannot exist. Even though you get a dengue virus inside your body, it will not cause a dengue. Even though tubercular bacilli enters in your body, it cannot do anything wrong. Mycobacterium leprae is there, it will not going to do anything. Because conditions are not favorable. They act conditionally. So natural disease always acts conditionally, or if natural disease has to happen, it is conditional in nature. So this is first important thing, keep it in your mind. No disease can develop without a condition. So conditions should be favorable, then and then a natural disease can develop. There is a footnote and he wants to explain about this unconditionally, what exactly it means. So footnote number 16 is there. Just go through that. When I call disease a derangement of man's state of health, I am far from wishing thereby to give a hyper-physical explanation of the internal nature of the diseases generally, or of any case of disease in particular. It is only intended by this expression to intimate what it can be proved diseases are not and cannot be, that they are not mechanical or chemical alterations of the material substances of the body, and not dependent on the material morphic substance, but that they are merely spirit-like conceptual dynamic derangement of the life. Just underline this last part, merely spirit-like conceptual dynamic derangement of the life. See, this thing one has to understand. Many people have asked me this question. Sir, why many people suffered during the COVID epidemic? But I have seen that in that house, 3 people have suffered, but 2 people never have a COVID, even though they were in close contact. This question was asked by many people to me. The reason is in this footnote. The last point is very important to understand. What he says, merely spirit-like, every disease happens to be there at this level, spirit-like. What do you mean by spirit-like? Spirit-like means at the level of dynamics, which is not visible to your naked eye, but which happens inside at the level of your energy, which you cannot find it out inside your body. With the help of your naked eye, with the help of any instrument, you cannot find it out. But where it is, spirit-like, conceptual. The word which he has used is very important, conceptual. What is conceptual? Any idea? What do you mean by conceptual? Yes, anyone. What do you mean by conceptual? What is concept for? Yes, relating to concept. What is concept?
Sankalpana.
Correct. Very good. Arjun, anything else? Yes. Concept, where the concept borns? It borns in mind. It borns in your mind. It is related with your brain. And when this conceptual disturbance is there, there is something disturbed which is in your concept. First, there is a problem. And when it disturbs you as a whole. Someone says bad words against you, what happens? And you don't know they have said, but someone comes and tells you that that fellow is talking like this to you. What happens? Immediately, your mind starts, why this fellow has said such and such thing? What is wrong with me? What I have done for him? Is there anything I have done against him? Why he talked? What? Where is the disease? You don't know the reality, but where the problem has aroused? Problem has aroused in your brain at the level of a mind, at the level of a concept. So you are disturbed, finished. Your state of health, which was there, is absolutely disturbed because just because one thought entered in your body, inside your mind. That is what is the spiritual, conceptual, inimical. See, dynamic derangement of the life. This is the inimical dynamic derangement. So once you disturb at that level, everything can enter in your body. Then everything has cells on you. Then it is possible for the bacteria to develop a disorder. When you are not in reality, you are away from the reality. When you are disturbed, when you are either in the past or more in the future, and you are losing the thread of the present, then definitely you are always in a disease state. See, things happens like this. You have a quarrel with your friend in childhood. After 10 years, he comes in front of you. What happens? Immediately, those thoughts comes in your mind immediately, which has happened 10 years back. And you immediately, the grudge comes and you never reacts in the proper way to that fellow who comes to you directly. And now your reactions are based upon those past experiences. Is it your right reaction or wrong reaction? Is it a right or wrong? Tell me, what do you feel? If a person who comes to you after 10 years, now he is coming to you for some help, and still you are reacting to the past, which has happened to a long back. So if it happens long back, you are not reacting to the present, it means you are in delusion. It means you are in delusion, because delusion is nothing but away from the reality. And if it is away from the reality, that is the concept explained by Shankaran sir. This is as a delusion. This is a diseased reaction. You are not reacting to the present state, you are reacting to the past state. So these things creates a disorder, and if you are disturbed at that level, then there are chances for anything to enter in your body to produce a disorder. So order becomes diseased. The health becomes diseased. The harmony between mind, body, and soul becomes disturbed, because the conceptual inimical force already have produced damage over there, and that has created a chance for the rest of the things to enter in your body and produce the disease. And that's why Hahnemann says, always and always says, it is called as dynamic derangement of the vital force. And that is the prime etiology, which is invisible to your naked eye, which is visible to you only and only through signs and symptoms, which is visible to everyone through the totality of the symptoms. So you cannot see the disease, but you can understand the disease with the help of totality of symptoms. And what you have to treat is nothing but this totality. So natural disease has to happen. If any natural disease has to happen, there should be a conditions, and if those conditions are favorable, then and then a natural disease develops. So if the susceptibility of that person is very high, if his constitution is weak, if the person's miasmatic background is very strong, dominating miasm, these are the conditions favorable, then and then there is a chance that the disease enters. Then and then their body reacts in exaggerated way, and then disorder develops. So this aphorism, just write over the aphorism, no natural disease develops without conditions. Just mention over there on the aphorism, no natural disease develops without the condition. So all natural diseases are always conditional in origin. Now he comes to 32 aphorism, and where he explains exactly opposite what happens regarding the medicine. But it is quite otherwise with the artificial morbific agents, which we term medicines. This is not with the medicines. If you give the medicines, they act directly. So every real medicine, namely, acts at all times, under all circumstances, on every living human being, and produces in him its peculiar symptoms, distinctly perceptible if the dose be large enough, so that evidently every living human organism is liable to be affected and as it were inoculated with the medicinal disease at all times and absolutely unconditionally, which as before said is by no means the case with the natural diseases. See, this is what he wants to explain, that medicines, when you give to the healthy human beings, in all types of conditions, they used to produce their symptoms. So artificial morbific disorder happens to be there without conditions. So it never depends only on susceptibility. It never depends upon whether it is male or female. It never depends upon what are the environmental conditions. It never depends upon the to whom you are going to give it. Whenever you give it, it used to act on all human beings. Only thing is that some human being reacts in an exaggerated way, some reacts in a comparatively less manner, but it works. And so, as compared to the natural disease, artificial disease always develops unconditionally. See, one natural disease develops conditionally, another artificial disease develops unconditionally. So, which is the stronger? He wants to tell you the reason behind that, why he said that artificial disease, artificial morbific agents, that means medicines, why they are stronger than the natural disease. In order to explain all those things, he has taken the pains to explain each and every detail. So Hahnemann's rubric was objective reasonable. He used to explain the reasoning behind each and everything. He never explained what he feels. He every time explains why it is so. He has given the proper reasoning behind that. He was under the complete influence of the Lord Bacon. So everywhere he followed the Lord Bacon's logic, the inductive and deductive reasoning, and everything, whatever he has explained, has a reasoning. So what he explained over there is the medicinal artificial disease is acts unconditionally, and that's why they are always stronger than the natural disease which develops conditionally. Which are the conditions? First condition is susceptibility. Second condition is weak constitution. Third condition is the miasmatic background. So these are basic three factors which are necessarily favorable, then and then natural disease will develop. Unless they are favorable, it is not possible to have its own existence. So these are the two important aphorisms mentioned by Hahnemann to explain the importance of artificial morbific agent and why they are stronger than the natural disease. One more is there where he explains the same thing, that regarding the why they are stronger than the natural disease. In accordance with this fact, it is undeniably shown by all experience that the living human organism is much more disposed and has a greater liability to be acted on and to have its health deranged by the medicinal powers than by morbific noxious agents and infectious miasms. In other words, that morbific noxious agents possess the power of morbidly deranging man's health that is subordinate and conditional, often very conditional, whilst medicinal agents have an absolute unconditional power greatly superior to the former. So who is superior? The artificial disease is superior than the former, means natural disease, because former is conditional, it has conditional existence. The latter, that is medicinal disease, has an unconditional existence. So those who act unconditionally are always superior, stronger than the conditional natural disease. And this is how he has explained his hypothesis why medicines are stronger. Medicinal artificial disease is stronger than the natural disease. So this why all those pains have been taken by Hahnemann, because he has explained one law which we have learned in 26th aphorism, that is called as the nature's law of cure. A weaker dynamic affection is permanently extinguished in the living organism by a stronger one. If latter, whilst differing in kind, is very similar to former in its existence. So he has explained why these artificial stronger disease, which is latter, which is stronger than the natural disease. There is one more footnote, but I think how much time is there? We'll finish that footnote. Footnote number 17. A striking fact in corroboration of this is that whilst previously in the year 1801, when the smooth scarlatina of Sydenham still occasionally prevailed epidemically among children, it attacked without exception all children who had escaped it in a former epidemic. In a similar epidemic, which I witnessed in Coinsletter, on the contrary, all the children who took in the time very small dose of belladonna remained unaffected by this highly infectious infantile disease. So Hahnemann was the experimenter. He has proved the belladonna and he knows the symptomatology of belladonna. What he has done, he said that he observed that belladonna has very similar manifestation as those of the scarlatina of Sydenham. Then what he has done, he has given a dose to many children during that epidemic, to healthy children. And what has happened, to his surprise, those who received belladonna stimulus never suffered from the natural disease. So belladonna disease, which has developed and which is developed because of belladonna, called as the artificial disease, have because of which the natural disease was not able to enter inside the body. So he, in order to explain the strongness or superiority of the artificial disease than the natural disease, he is giving this example. And what he says over there, if medicines can protect from a disease that is raging around, they must possess a vastly superior power of affecting our vital force. What he says, if the medicines can protect from the disease, if you can protect from the disease, then it definitely have more stronger power to act on your vital force than the natural disease. So see, everything whatever is written in this book by this man is really a part and parcel of his thorough experimentation. Nothing is explained what he feels. Whatever he has felt, he experimented. And once he got the proof, then and then he talked about it, he has written it, he has penned it down and explained it to everyone. And because of which this organon has a lot of importance. So everything, if anyone puts you why, how your medicines act, why they act, you must know all the reasoning. You should fight with everyone. There are, in fact, we have a good philosophy to explain it, which is not there with others. There was a big meet between different practitioners, that is the allopathic practitioners, Ayurvedic practitioners, and homeopathic practitioners. And I had a chance to deliver a lecture in front of them, and there was a lecture on homeopathy and homeopathy, allopathy, and Ayurveda, a correlation between them, and importance of homeopathy rather than the allopathy and Ayurveda. I talked nearly about 2 hours, and no one who contradicted, only because whatever I have taught is with the help of this organ. There was a reasoning behind each and everything, and reasoning was really a philosophical. It is truth. It is the truth, and once you explain the truth, everyone can accept. And for that purpose, it is necessary for us to learn this. And whatever is explained in this book is nothing but the truth experimented by Hahnemann and written for us to understand. So we'll stop with this aphorism, and tomorrow we'll meet and continue with the same. So thank you very much being there. Many people are there. Dr. Vasudev RK sir, Ali, Anupam, everyone is there. Priti is there. So thank you being there. We'll meet tomorrow. Is there any question? Any query?
Sir,
Bolo.
sir, my friend, he arrived here from Riyadh. Riyadh is in Makkah.
Okay.
And it's covered by all चारों तरफ से सर वो पहाड़ों के बीच में जगह है ना, तो वहाँ पे मेरे और भी जो कजन्स या लोग हैं, उनको वहाँ जाते ही जो है वो कोराइजा, साइनस इश्यूज, डस्ट की वजह से ये तमाम चीजें हो जाती हैं। तो इस दफा वो आए हुए थे कल रात को सारे, तो कहते हैं हम यहाँ आके ठीक हो जाते हैं, वहां जाके ना क्योंकि वो चारों तरफ से पहाड़ है और सारा वो डस्टी वो है, तो हमें ये चीज हो जाती है। तो इसमें हम क्या मतलब मेडिसिन के हवाले से मतलब वो पूछ रहे थे कि
How
नाक
is
बंद
the
हो जाना।
weather? Okay, पहाड़ है लेकिन weather
सर
कैसा?
वेदर सर ड्राई है और हॉट है।
Hot है. It is not cold.
जी सर। नो सर।
Okay. Or whether they suffer, what they suffer?
सॉरी सर।
What are the manifestations? From what they suffers over there?
Sir, actually, stoppage of nose, early morning sneezing with cough, something. Sometime they usually some expectorant greenish sputum comes out when they cough. And a little bit of सेंसेशन ऑफ एस्थमेटिक ब्रीदिंग, मतलब रात को सोते सोते आंख खुल गई, मुंह खोल के सो रहे हैं, ड्राइनेस की वजह से थ्रोट इतना ड्राई हुआ कि आंख खुल गई,
Remedy is
उठ
very
के बैठ गए।
You can give few doses of natrum sulf. Think over it,
Right.
go through it and give some doses and just see. Yes, Prasanna, your question is very correct. Why Carbovage failed and Naxomic acted like a magic? Tomorrow's lecture, I will give the explanation because very few seconds are remaining. So we'll discuss that and just Ali try the natrum sulf. What happens? Let us see. And write it down the details.
All right, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Keep my name along with that.
Right, sir.
Okay.